Alright, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are going to be going over the enhancement changes sneak peek brought to you by Blessed. So, I know a lot of you guys are feeling frustrated with the enhancement system, and a lot of people think that it got a lot worse. Being as an original player from the beginning of the game, I felt the enhancement system definitely needed work, but it was substantially cheaper than what it is now, and it was actually a lot easier to get things to Mythic despite people's concerns. And when they implemented the new method, a lot of your gear actually the cost for everything just exponentially grew, which is ridiculous. Like it costs about 100,000 star seeds, 200,000 star seeds at Mythic, and for the weapons, for obviously like gear and everything else like that, it's really cheap. Like the from blue to purple. Master enhancements for me personally were fairly cheap. In terms of cores, in terms of the star seeds, it's like 5,000. And then for some people who don't have alternate characters farming star seeds every day, the cost kind of just caught up to them. Like they needed to get really good gear from dungeons to sell, and not everyone has that luck. Some people just have all the luck, and some people just don't, and that's just the reality. Because my luck is terrible, so I would never really get anything from dungeons, so I could never rely on dungeons. Out of the whole time I spent playing this game, out of the 2 sealed chest keys that I got every single day across characters, I only got one item, well, actually I would say 2 items that I could sell for over 1,000,000 star seeds at the time. Um, so that's kind of unfortunate when someone who's been playing since the beginning has that kind of terrible RNG. So, and the biggest issue is for this game, you need star seeds to progress, and without star seeds, you're kind of stagnant. And using the common enhancer is kind of a no-go because even though it is cheaper, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go backwards more than you will go forwards. So it's gonna cost you more in the long run. So I'm gonna read you here exactly what it says. The Sauron Deception is coming soon, along with one of the most asked for changes to Bless Unleashed, a major overhaul of the enhancement system. The changes are sweeping and are intended to do major things which should reduce player frustration, so reducing the starseed cost of the Master Enhance Artisan and increasing the ability to enhance items through rewards. Implementing a new system to prevent long streaks of failure at the Common Enhancement Artisan, and introducing a new item which can be used to increase the success rate of items. See, there's an issue I have a problem with here. The reducing the star seeds cost, that's great, that's for the Master Enhancement Artisan. They said they're going to reduce it by 70%, which in my opinion should be the case for people who are obviously don't have the star seeds to progress in the game. And they say to increase the ability to enhance item through rewards, and that's the kind of gray area that I'm completely unsure of, like what they mean by that. Like, are the new sigils that are going to be coming out going to be only exclusive to dungeon drops, and the only way to get them are, like I said, through dungeon drops and Crusades, like the way they mentioned. But I'm going to keep reading on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. To begin with, we're removing the unlicensed enhancement specialist. He may return in another form at some point, but his services will no longer be available as of this update. We are also reducing the cost of Master Enhancement Artisan, introducing a new item to help bolster enhancement success rate, and adding in a system to prevent failure streaks from going on too long. So my issue with this is the fact that they stated that it's specifically for the common enhancer. They don't really mention if the master enhancement is going to have a fail stack. It sounds like it's exclusively for the common enhancer. And honestly, in my opinion, I personally don't care if they have a fail stack on the common, because it makes no difference is if he still has the ability to break your gear and set you backwards. So let's say you get a +1 on your common, you get a fail stack to finally get it to +2, and then on your next upgrade it fails backwards, and then you're back down to +1 again. And then on top of that, you got to repair your item and work on your next fail stack so you can get a guaranteed upgrade. So to me, that progress is, in a way, it's nonsense, because you are working hard, you got your cores, you did what you had to, and I know it's great to earn your time that you put in, but the fact that the common is such a sketchy character to use, that it's his use in the game is near non-existent besides a +1. I, as someone who uses seeds for the most of my upgrades, do not touch the common enhancer, um, because A gear that I have is just far too expensive to constantly get repair kits for. It's about 50,000 star seeds or 3,000 cores uh, to get repair kits. It is doable, but let's say, you know, I finally get my repair kits in order and just constantly just not progress at all because of the fact that it goes backwards. See, the one thing I do like about the common enhancer at legendary is that he has the potential to not go backwards. He will fail, but has the potential to not break. But again, 9 times out of 10, even with that potential, my luck, I've never got past a +1. The most, I take that back, the most I've gotten was probably a +2 on the common without it breaking. But before it actually got to that point, it did break a couple of times. So let's continue reading on. The Master Enhancement Artisan is perhaps undergoing the most significant set of changes. He will no longer be accepting fortification stones. Instead, he will be making use of the 2 new sigils, Patience weapons, and armor fortification sigils. Players will be able to find them in dungeons, crusades, and as rewards for completing and participating in other forms of endgame content. So my guess here is possibly maybe regionals, probably in the north, possibly. The high north, not the regular north, because that is endgame content that I can only think of because nothing else is in the game. And crusades, and they only happen if it's for the invasions, they only happen. There's only a select few, and they only happen like once a day, unless it's talking about all crusades, which are actually the ones down south in Sincala as well. Let's see. Crusades sigils are divided into 3 ranks, much like fortification stones, but instead of grades, sigils operate on tiers and are available for C, B, and A tiers. We are also reducing the starseed cost of the Master Enhancement Artisan by 70%, which is pretty good because if it costed 100,000 starseeds, which is basically where Mythic is costing right now, for a Mythic +1, it's 127,000 starseeds. It'll reduce it by 70%. So then it'll go back down to the legendary cost of, what it costs to upgrade it as a legendary item, which is fine. To me, like I would prefer paying 50,000 starseeds or 30,000 starseeds at Mythic level than spending 200,000 starseeds for a fail. Because 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to happen. You're going to constantly be getting failures on your upgrades, and it's going to be frustrating. Alright, let's see. Players will also soon be able to find a new item called the Ember of Patience, or Paetion, so I'm guessing the Paetion. The very rare Ember of Patience can be used to increase the chance of success when enhancing your gear, and can be used at both the Common and Master Enhancement Artisan. So finally, a Streak Breaker system will be added. A Streak Breaker system will be added specifically to the Common Enhancement Specialist. So right there, it highlights it's specific to the Common Enhancement Specialist. Once an enhancement is successful, the bonus rate will reset. The amount of bonus applied will differ based on the grade of the enhancement being attempted. So I'm guessing the higher the tier, let's see, the amount of bonus applied with it will differ based on the grade of the enhancement being attempted. So I guess the harder it is, the smaller the bonus. And to be very clear, this system is not present on the Master Enhancement Artisan. It literally states that in their website, that this is not on the Master Enhancement Artisan. So you can still fail and not build up fail stacks with the Master Enhancement Artisan. And to me personally, that is not a very rewarding system, because not only I'm not really gonna, honestly, I'm hopeful to the new system. I'm very hopeful that it's better. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that they don't mess up the system already the way it is, because they always find new ways to just disgruntle players. Because what I've learned from this game is that they don't like you to progress as fast as we are progressing. Because they want longevity in their game, and I understand it, but what they don't really understand, in my opinion, again, is that there should be a higher success rate, because of the fact that this will allow players to build different sets of gear and different sets of armor for their class, or it'll allow them to explore other classes the same way I have. Because right now, because of my alternate characters, I was able to get basically a gear score of about almost 1200 on all of my characters. Now, unfortunately, I only have a PvE build, and then there's only one specific build for those classes. Now let's go on. Let's see. Finally, a streak breaker system. I already saw that. The development team hopefully hopes that players will attempt to enhance unwanted gear to a certain point in order to both generate artifact cores and a set of artifact shards. So basically, it wants you to enhance all of your equipment, your E gear, your D gear, so they can finally to the point where you can actually salvage it to get artifact cores. And this is something I feel is kind of trivial because with the way the player base is, um, you're not going to really have anything other than, let's see, let me look up here. You're not going to really enhance something that you can literally buy on the marketplace for like 100 star seeds, especially B gear. So E gear and, E gear and like D gear is kind of like redundant at this point because you can literally start the game, go to the marketplace, cash in on 1,000 star seeds, and literally buy yourself a full set of B gear. So although they want that, that's not going to happen. And also to work success rate bonuses up to a point high enough that will feel comfortable attempting to enhance their gear on the common enhancement specialist. The intended goal of the system is to allow players to both generate more of much needed artifact cores and help ease the difficulty involving with enhancing high-end gear. We'll be back later with this week with more information about the Sarin Deception and some of the item reward changes players can expect to see so soon. So, as you can see right there, their intentions are in the right place. However, I don't think it's gonna be as successful as they intend it to be. Mainly because there's just the player base is already thinning out dramatically. I've noticed it over the course of the couple of the past weeks that I've been playing this game. Like dungeons used to be active, and you would think that after they merge the servers it'd be even more active, but that's not the case. The queue times are still a long period of time. PvP is redundant because you just can't get into a single red basin, so a lot of the content is lost because of the fact that the progression in this game is just taking, and then it's taking so long for the developers to get back to the people who are playing their game and are going to continue the longevity of this game. Now, when it comes to all the enhancements, I personally think that they should leave the Master Enhancer alone in terms of like the sigils and increase. I think until like I test it, I can't really say for sure what's gonna happen. I'm afraid that my biggest fear is the sigils are gonna be extremely scarce, and it's gonna be difficult to upgrade your gear even further. I feel like they're just creating. My fear is they're creating another content wall, and they don't want you to progress your gear any faster than you already are, like because those sigils are only gonna be available in dungeons, crusades, or high-end content. It's not gonna be like a fortification stone drop. Like as you can see, like in like even as I'm mob grinding right here, I can get a fortification stone from mob grinding. But nowhere in the actual message did it say that you are able to do that. So my fear is that it's going to be so scarce to get your gear to actually master enhance that the master enhancer is not going to be able to even be used. Yes, the cost is going to be reduced, but you're not going to be able to use him as much. So is it really a pro, or is it a con? And if they keep it so that you can actually get sigils through regionals, or let's say you can get them through dungeons, but without opening the sealed chest. Like if you have to use your keys or your one sealed chest key to get a sigil, then I don't approve of that method, because that is literally only going to cater to the pay-to-win players, and it's going to be a pay-to-win mechanic. And that's even though there's players that that pay real money to keep this game alive. I mean, they do. The players that play for free and they do pay in other ways are actually the demographic, in my opinion, that will keep the game going, because the more players you have in your game, the more players that will be queuing in dungeons, the higher the activity. However, because once the pay-to-win players get what they need, they'll just basically leave the game. A lot of the players that I've met basically have left the game because there's nothing left for them to do. But a lot of the free-to-play players are still here, occasionally spending money on the game. They don't need to, if they don't need to eliminate, fortification stones from the Master Enhancer. I feel like it should be either or, and the sigils just give you, in my opinion, a higher chance for increase success rate. So reduce the cost by 70%. That way you use fortifications on the Master Enhancer. And if you have a sigil, that means you have a higher chance of success sigils for. And that way you can alternate between the common and the Master Enhancer. And let's say to keep it relevant, that way you don't have to have a fail stack on the Master Enhancer, but you can have more than one way to upgrade with the Master Enhancer, if that makes any sense. Now for the common Enhancer, if failure is less of a chance than, you know, in the sense that it breaks, if the chance for it to break is much smaller, then I would definitely recommend to use the common enhancement specialist. But the fail stacks on an already flawed system doesn't make sense to me. I read it and it just doesn't really make me feel comfortable using the common enhancement specialist, because the fact of the matter is, unless it's like the legendary gear where it has a chance at not going backwards, using a common enhancement specialist with an A gear item is too risky and too high cost to even risk, because the minute it fails, it breaks at blue and it breaks at epic. So I wouldn't recommend using it. I mean, but let me know what you guys think. Like what are your guys' thoughts on the new enhancement system? I mean, this is what I'm getting from it. That's what I read, and they said before they actually release it, they're gonna explain more, so we can actually have an idea of what's to come. And if it's what I think it is, and the rarity is gonna jump up completely, then I am going to spend all the starseeds that I have to get all of my gear mythic before the next update, because at least I have a chance to use the fortification stones that I have to get my gear to at least the 1300 level. That's gonna be, you know, disheartening, but they've already messed up once with the enhancement system. But people didn't really know what they had in the beginning, so they were just constantly getting, you know, let down, because most people were using the common enhancement specialist. But had they used the master enhancement specialist at the beginning of the game, they would have realized that the system was much better and there was a higher success, and the starseeds cost for the master was actually much cheaper as well. But that's all I could think about. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see what the sigils have to offer, but other than that, excitement is kind of mixed in with worry as well. The big thing that I really want to see them do is really fix up the PvP system. But I feel like I'm digressing here, so I'm just gonna cut the video right here and just end it, because I want to stay focused on what you guys want, or what you guys want to talk about, or what kind of changes you guys want in the game. And personally, my biggest things, like I feel like we can all agree on, is that the master enhancement specialist costs way too much and fails way too often and not. I just spent 1,000,000 starseeds on a non-upgradable item. 1,000,000 starseeds, and I sent it to their Twitter before with 500,000 starseeds. It's the same concept. 500,000 starseeds got me literally one upgrade, and I have another video where I try to get my bow to mythic, and basically a mill didn't get me anywhere. So I am hopeful for this new method, but hopefully it's not worse, and hopefully the rarity is not as bad as I think it is. And to clarify, let me explain one last time. If, just like an AOB, when you open the box in the Abyssal Dungeons, when you open that box, you get a piece of A unenhanceable gear. If the sigils can drop like that, it would not only increase player activity, it would increase dungeon activity, because a lot of players only play for their dungeon, their 2 dungeons, and then they're done. But if they can grind and get fortifications, or I'm sorry, sigils, then that would increase people to continue grinding dungeons, because that's kind of what the content you have that's left in the game if you are not if you're already done with the campaign. Like for a lot of the players that I've met, we're pretty much all done with the game. I'm sitting basically close to 1300 gear score on with my 10 different characters, just kind of waiting for new content to come out. So let me know what you guys think on the sigils, the new update coming out, like your concerns. What do you guys think about it? Are you guys for it after what you've heard? Are you against it? Do you feel like they should? What changes do you want to happen? And once you're done, feel free to share this video if you agree with some of the thought process that I had. If you disagree, feel free to share down below, because I would appreciate that, because What this really is a discussion, because I feel like a lot of people that stream this game um, don't stream it anymore, and are the voice for the people that actually play this game has been brought down. So there's really no one that they can actually actively watch or talk to. But again, thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like the socials, Mixer, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at the Guitarist562. I will be also uploading probably more videos now. The good news is I actually finally hit 1,000 subscribers, and my application was accepted, so I can actually have advertisements on my videos. And I know money is tight for everyone, so if the best way you can support the channel is literally just to kind of, I guess, watch the advertisement, let it roll, or honestly, I'm not sure if I should have skippable ads or just have an ad that could just plays through. But I'm not going to implement any of that. Well, the unskippable advertisement, unless you guys are cool with it. So I wanted to ask you guys before I did anything, because again, this wouldn't be possible if you guys didn't support what I did. So thank you guys for constantly supporting, and thank you guys for just having fun and just being a part of this growth of a new channel. So thank you guys, and I know I keep saying thank you, but like that's really all I can say. Thank you guys, and I look forward to grinding some more dungeons with you guys and meeting all the players that I've met over the past couple of weeks. Have a good one, and peace out.